Hello fellow book lovers, my name is Giselle and welcome to the Adventures of Giz. Today's video is going to be a recent reads / January wrap up where I speak about all the books I read in January. First up, we have Serpents Death by Shelby Mahurin. I really enjoyed this book and I gave it a 4.5 out of 5 stars. In Serpents Death, we follow two characters. The one is Lou, who is a witch, and the other one is Reed, who is a witch hunter. Now, in this 18th French-inspired fantasy world, we have some amazing characters. The setting is fantastic. And I just absolutely adored this book. In this, these two characters who absolutely despise each other end up having to marry each other, and there are two fantastic side characters in this, Coco and Ansel. They are both amazing. I absolutely adored them. The witchcraft and just the magic in general in this world is fantastic. I absolutely loved it. There isn't a lot of world building, but that did not bother me at all because the world building is more through characters' eyes, so it is as if we have always known this place and as if this place is very familiar to us as a reader. The ending of this book was absolutely fantastic. I adored the ending. There was just a lot of drama in this book. It was great. It was so much excitement to take in. The only reason that I gave it that one less half star was because of one of the characters. It was actually Reed, the main character. There were certain things about him that I do not enjoy reading about, and he is just not the kind of character that I particularly like. Like I said, the ending is still fantastic and a lot of stuff does change by the end of this book, but I think I still have that bitter aftertaste from certain things that happen towards the beginning and the middle of this book. This book was sent to me by the amazing people over at Jonathan Ball Publishers, which is a South African publishing and distribution company, and I just want to say thank you so much to them for sending me this book. I really enjoyed it, and like I said, it is just an amazing book. The cover is stunning and I cannot wait to read the next one. The second book I read this year was The Savage Song by Victoria Schwab. I gave The Savage Song 4 out of 5 stars. In The Savage Song, we follow two characters, Kate and August. Now, Kate and August are both children of two feuding families, both of them living on different sides of the city of Verity, and Verity has been split in half by this feud. Kate has been kicked out of 6 boarding schools by the beginning of this book, and eventually she is sent back to Verity to go to school, even though her father really wanted to keep her out of the city. The other thing about Verity that one must know is that violence in the city breeds monsters. Wherever there is a cruel or violent act, a monster springs up from that spot. So basically the city of Verity is overrun by monsters. The other character we follow is August Flynn, and he just happens to be one of the rarest monsters. All he wants to be human. At the beginning of the book, August is asked to go over to the other side of the city, pretend to be one of its inhabitants, go to Kate's school and just follow and watch her, just in case they need leverage against her father. Now, this is just a fantastic book. We have so many things going on. This amazing internal struggle of August being a monster and just wanting to be human, and Kate, who struggles with being good when all she wants to be is make her father proud, even though he is this very cruel and malicious man. The plot of this book was absolutely amazing. I adored it up until the very end. The ending of this book was completely unexpected. I was stuck between 4 or 4.5 out of 5 stars, and I just ended up going with 4 out of 5 stars because, like I said, I was listening to the audiobook, which meant I lost a little bit of what was going on, and especially towards the ending when everything was getting very fast-paced and exciting. And I definitely think that I can be obsessed with this book if I read it in physical form, simply because I'll be able to take in every single little nuance of the book. Next up, I listened to the audiobook of The Raven Boys by Maggie Stiefvater. This was a reread, and I have realized that rereading things on audiobook is much easier than reading them for the first time on audiobook. The Raven Boys I gave 4.5 out of 5 stars. It actually went up with my reread now because Originally, I gave it 4 out of 5 stars, but I did really adore the characters. And if you don't know anything about the Raven Boys, we follow a girl called Blue, whose entire family is psychic. Blue does not have any psychic abilities, but she does have the ability to enhance or intensify the psychic abilities around her. On the other hand, we also follow a group of boys who go to a local private boarding school, and these boys that go to the school, Blue calls the Raven Boys. Since Blue was little, she has been told that she will kill her first love if she kisses him. And basically, she has just convinced herself over the years that she will never ever love anyone enough to actually want to kiss them, or enough to probably most likely kill them. So in it, we see Blue struggling with meeting a group of boys that are just complete hazards, and they just do anything they want to. And Blue just wants to keep away from them, but at the same time, she is so drawn towards this group. And what they are doing in this is the leader of the group, Gansey, is searching for an old Welsh king who is apparently buried on the ley lines. And if you find this king and wake him from his slumber, he will grant you a wish. So all Gansey wants is to find this king and get a wish. So that is the overall plot of the series in general. In the specific book though, they don't get that far yet. But like I said, we have some fantastic characters. I absolutely adore Blue, and she has just always been such a unique and great character. Even though Gansey is the leader of this group, there's a lot that goes on between them that changes dynamics constantly, and Blue just comes into this and watches basically how this group interacts with each other, and she joins them on this little mini adventure in this book. There are some great plot points that happen in this. There's a couple of plot twists as well. The more I think about this book, the more I realize I really did love it. I'm not obsessed yet, but that is because I have not finished the series. There are some interesting magical things happening in this book. We have Blue and the psychic abilities. We have the ley lines, which are giving this weird magic off. We have some trees that talk Latin. I do like it, and I do think I'm going to love the rest of the series. Next up is my first 5-star read of the year, because I am being more strict with my rating system, and that is Legendary by Stephanie Garber. I was just sitting reading another book, and I just had this overwhelming urge to pick up Legendary, and I did, and I finished it within one day, and it was fantastic. Oh my goodness, this book it's my heart and soul. I love it so much. So in the first book of Caraval, we followed a sister called Scarlet, and she goes on a mission to save her sister Donatella. In this book, we follow Donatella's perspective, and I can't say much other than that without spoiling the first book. The first book, Caraval, like I said, follows Scarlet, and in this world that they live in, there is a little bit of magic, and there is this magical carnival called Caraval. It is a couple of days long where everything is just completely magical, over the top, fantastic, completely deceiving, and they did it so well in the first book. Honestly, it was just fantastic. I loved the idea of Caraval. I love Caraval in general. I love the characters. Like I said, in this we follow Donatella, and I love Donatella so much. I did love Scarlet in the first one. Whenever I think about Scarlet and Donatella, I think about my one sister, and we are literally Scarlet and Donatella. She is Scarlet and I am Donatella, which is why reading from Donatella's perspective was honestly the best thing ever, because it just felt like I was reading about myself, which was really weird, because every time I would think something, the character Donatella would say the exact same thing I was just thinking about. It was a very interesting experience. There is so much drama in these books, and there is always these amazing plot twists at the end. And at the end of this book, I knew the plot twist was coming. I saw it coming. I knew it was coming. But it still surprised the hell out of me when it did actually happen, which was so weird, because that is just how well it was written. Stephanie Garber is a fantastic writer, and she does characters and world building, and just every single thing she puts her mind to, she does well. I cannot wait to pick up Finale. I have not seen a copy of it in the shops yet, but as soon as I do, I'm picking it up and I want to start it, because this series has just burrowed into my heart and will stay there forever, because that is how much I love the concept and the things that happen and the way that these books make me feel. And last, we have The Gilded Wolves by Roshani Chakshi. So this was kind of a weird dual reading experience for me because I was reading a physical form as well as listening to it. The one thing about this audiobook is that I absolutely adored the woman who narrates the female characters, but I did not like the man who narrated the male parts of this book. My rating for The Gilded Wolves isn't official yet because I am stuck between a 4 or a 4.5 out of 5 stars. So if you don't know anything about The Gilded Wolves, we are in our world, but an alternate world where there is magic and very certain people have specific kinds of magic. So I do believe that we are in, I think, 18th century France in this alternate universe, and it is just so fantastic. This French theme is really sticking with me. I'm loving it so much. It just adds like a little panache to some of the characters, like Hypnos. Oh my goodness, he has so much sass, and I think definitely the couple of French phrases that he just throws into everyday conversation adds to that 100%. Some of the other characters that we follow Severin, who should have been the heir to this very important French house, and Severin is determined to get his title as heir to his house back. That is basically what causes the actions in this entire story. We also follow Severin's group of friends, and we have Lila, who came from India to France to basically save herself. She likes doing two things. So the one is she likes baking, and the other thing she likes to do is she has this alter ego, L'Enigma, and basically she is a very sensual onstage dancer, and I absolutely love her character. We also have Enrique, who is the book smart historian who comes from the Philippines. We have Zofia, who I believe comes from Poland, who is very introverted. She does not like interacting with people. It's just lovely to have this kind of character in this book. We also have a character called Tristan, who is Severin's basically his little brother, but not by blood. And Severin has promised to always protect Tristan, who everybody just loves because he has the softest heart and everyone just wants to protect him. And then we have another character which I already mentioned, which is Hypnos, and he just comes in and steals the spotlight every time he does anything at all. It is fantastic. I love him so much. In this book we have a very diverse cast. We have LGBTQ representation. We have a fantastic dynamic within the group of people, and we also have this very exciting plot line where they need to steal something very important. Things obviously don't go like they're supposed to, and things start going wrong. I am going to rate The Gilded Wolves 4.5 out of 5 stars. So there we have my January reading wrap up. I hope you had a fantastic January. Let me know down below in the comments what your favorite book of the month was. Mine was by far Legendary because it was just a fantastic read. Don't forget to give this video a thumbs up, and I will see you soon. Have a fantastic day.